Leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has written an important letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi condemning the centre's decision to permit offshore mining along the coasts of Kerala, Gujarat and Andaman and Nicobar. He has urged the government to cancel the tenders issued for the offshore mining blocks. Rahul Gandhi, in fact, has asserted that rigorous scientific studies must be undertaken to assess environmental as well as socio-economic impact of offshore mining. Now, all of this is interesting because this comes at a time when students are protesting in Hyderabad University, which comes in Telangana, which is a Congress-ruled state, and students are alleging that it is a Congress-ruled government which is basically trying to auction the forested land that belongs to Hyderabad University to develop IT and other developmental activities. In fact, BRS and BJP have also alleged that the Congress is indulging in hypocrisy and is writing to the Prime Minister on environmental protection, but is indulging in destroying the environment in a state that is ruled by the Congress party. Joining us now is Rachna Reddy, who is the spokesperson of the BJP. We also have Professor Rekha Rao, who is leader of the BRS. We have Navika Harshe, who is a Congress spokesperson. To Navika Harshe first, who comes from the Congress party. Ma'am, why use force against students? Because at the end of the day, these are young people. There are also environmental activists, and they are citing some serious concerns.
Hi, Vasudha. First and foremost, I think the force which is being put is a legal matter, and I think it's just the local police and it's just the law taking its own course. I don't think there's a larger issue there. On the issue of the land of the University of Hyderabad, one is that there is now a Supreme Court verdict also, which says that the land doesn't belong to the University of Hyderabad. It is the land of the government of Telangana. And now the government of Telangana is also the government which has earlier been accused of Hydra. I mean, we have run Hydra and other such projects. So we are concerned about environment. So if there is any water, there are water bodies and rock formations, that they will not be disturbed. We are the government which is conscious of environment. That is our land, and we will make sure that it is sustainably developed.
Okay, point taken. Rachna Reddy, how do you see this action, ma'am? Because at the end of the day, Congress party is also saying that this is developmental activity. If it is halted, then people of Telangana will suffer. But the visuals of JCBs in a site that belongs to a university, of course, courts have said otherwise, is very disturbing.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Here the issue is not so much who the land belongs to. Here the issue, and I'm speaking as a lawyer as well. Here the issue is, what does this forested area have? This area is completely wooded. It's a forest. Kancha Khachiboli has been auctioned off for the last 20 years, and different regimes have been unsuccessful. This is the reason why. It is a habitat for endangered flora and fauna, and there is research. There are reports based on that. Hence, it cannot be auctioned off to private anybody. Yes, it might be a government land. Her students or anybody, or I'm sure even the environmental activists have no issue with that. It might belong to the government, but it is the duty of the government to preserve that land. You can see when certain land is habitat land, when there is Wildlife Protection Act involved, when there is air, water,
okay, so that's a very important point. Professor Rekha Rao, Rachna Reddy is making a very important point here, that it is the duty of the government, the state government, to protect it, to protect this land which is forested area, and the dispute is here really not the matter, but the fact that it is the responsibility of the state government to protect this land.
Yes, it has to be protected for the next generations. Because
right, Professor Rekha Rao,
and fauna such as this has to be protected under the law of India. And another important point is the government of Telangana.
I'm completely out of time. Professor Rekha Rao, can you just...
I feel the land may belong to the government, but again, I feel the government must leave this area. On one side, we are talking about schemes like making Hyderabad green. We are talking about increasing the green canopy, and now why are we destroying it? It's not a question that it does not belong to the government, it belongs to the government, but that as it is, Hyderabad has undergone a lot of urbanization. The pollution, if you see recent newspapers, the amount or the percentage is highest in India. So I think the land should be untouched. In fact, it should be converted into a research where academics and international organizations should come and do research and preserve it. So I don't think the government should go and encroach it. It is totally wrong. Maybe the intention of the government is good.
Navika Harshe, would you like to respond to this, ma'am? Because both BJP and BRS are on one side here saying that it's a responsibility of the state government to protect this area, which is known to be ecologically sensitive. In fact, on one hand, your leader has written, Rahul Gandhi has written to the Prime Minister saying that it's very important to preserve ecological resources of India, but in a Congress-ruled state, the same thing is not happening.
No, but that's exactly my point, right? Like, this is the government of Telangana land. Let us work with the government of Telangana to develop sustainable solutions. Let's look at how that land can be used where not the flora, not the fauna, even the water bodies and rock formations are protected. And at this point, I mean, HCU is personal to me. I grew up on campus, I studied there. I also understand the importance of it, and I also believe that our government will find a solution which is sustainable, which will be acceptable by all, and which will also make sure that everything is protected. And again, as you just mentioned in the news before us, was that Rahul Gandhi ji also wrote to make sure that there's enough research before we make any changes to the environment. So I think
we're completely out of time. Thank you so much, all three of you. Thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast. Tensions have erupted at the University of Hyderabad yesterday after police clashed with students against Telangana government's plan to redevelop 400 acres of land next to their campus. Now, this has led to a political row. You heard the spokespersons of all three parties. In fact, some of them accusing the police of dragging this matter into the political realm. But of course, the Congress party defending this, saying that this belongs to the land, this belongs to the state government, and that the government will work towards developing this land with considerable ecological protection.